All right, I am getting ready to do the stars of Clarence Thomas. This is his chart that I've printed out. Now, I haven't spent a great deal of time on his stars. I just took a quick look about 20 minutes ago. I'm going to create a report so I can look a little deeper, but we're going to go through this. And the first thing I saw, and it was a real big red flag for me, was I want you to just look and see where that dragon tail is. Now, Clarence Thomas is born on, hold on here, I gotta put a light on, I can't see what I'm doing. Clarence Thomas is born on June 23rd, 1948. Now, I do not have a birth time, so I always put an X through the midheaven and the rising sign, because those two without a birth time are going to be inaccurate, okay? But without a birth time, with my method of astrology, you can get a lot of information on a person's chart. Now, with that being said, let's go back and take a look here. You can see where that dragon tail is. So he's born in June. He has a dragon's head in Taurus and a tail in Scorpio. What universal axis are we in right now? A Taurus Scorpio tail. Meaning, Clarence Thomas is on one of his dragon returns. He has a natal dragon tail sitting in his 6th house. His 6th house represents work, employment, health, and service to the world. I said that all June-born souls, I don't care whether you are born in Cancer or in Gemini, you're going to feel this dragon's tail on your health house, the 6th house, hence why he ended up in the hospital. Now, also, with that being said, if you look closely at his chart, with that dragon tail sitting there, it also questions his service to the world. What is his service to the world? He is a Supreme Court justice. Now, I've got to get a hold of the wife's birthday. I'm going to run her stars, but I don't have a birth date yet for her. Any of my followers out there, if you have her date of birth, please shoot it my way, and I'll try and get back on here tomorrow and do her stars. But because of her involvement in this January 6th insurrection and him being a Supreme Court justice, he does not look good right now in the public eye. This area here, these next 15 months where this dragon's residing in his chart, he might have to step down from the Supreme Court. That is a possibility, okay? Because when you're on that, you have to have a very unbiased opinion. And some of you are young, not old enough to remember this, but I do. I remember when Clarence Thomas was on trial for misconduct with the Anita Hill case. And I didn't know his stars then, but I kind of looked at him and said, I think he is guilty as sin. Now that I look at his stars, it makes me see things so much more clearly. Now, going back to his chart, let's talk about his 3rd house. His 3rd house is Leo. Anytime you have Pluto in Leo and Saturn in Leo, a lot of times this is where a lot of conservative viewpoints come into place. He's the Pluto in Leo generation. He's a boomer. It's the boomer generation. This is the generation that needs to get the hell out of government. They're too indoctrinated in their viewpoints. That's just my point of view, my political point of view. However, anytime you have that placement sitting right here on the 3rd house, Pluto, Saturn in Leo, it creates a conservative viewpoint. Now, moving on to his 4th house. His 4th house, he also has a hidden dragon stationed in Pisces, and the tail is in Virgo. So the hidden, if you notice, I put a little X right there. The hidden dragon sits right there, and the head moves into the 10th house. 10th house is the house of career. It's in Pisces. Now, this means that dragon's head in Pisces, normally, I have a dragon's head in Pisces, but I also have cosmic consciousness. This judge does not. He rules in the favor of the oil companies and the gas companies, because Pisces, in its negative, rules oil, gas, Middle East, war. However, I want to move over to the, there it is, 7th house. His 7th house, he is Sagittarius, and he has a Jupiter in Sag, meaning he's very lucky. This is the house, this is the court justice house. Sagittarius is the house of, the 9th house is the house of knowledge, higher learning, education, but it also rules courts, laws, and justice. And having that Jupiter, oh my God, Jupiter sitting there in the 7th, this is about contracts, partnerships. He's always going to be blessed in that element, okay? And he also has Jupiter in Pisces right now, not natally, but Jupiter in Pisces is cruising his 10th, giving him a little luck. Now, he may get out of this, but Jupiter leaves Pisces May 10th. So, you know, he's got a month to clear this shit up. Otherwise, he's going to be made an example of. But after May 10th, then it moves into his 11th. I have a feeling he is going to be forced to resign. Okay? And this next Platonic phase that is coming isn't going to present him in a very pretty spotlight. Okay? Now, we just came out of a Uranic phase, and there's always shocking events that happen. I think Will Smith getting on stage and slapping Chris Rock is shocking news, don't you think? This is just a brief analysis of Clarence Thomas's stars. With him being born with a natal dragon's tail sitting right there in his 6th house of Scorpio. Scorpio is about wake-up calls. So Clarence Thomas will be getting a wake-up call, whether that's with his health or his service to the world. Now, this isn't going to be a very long video, but what I do need, I need that woman's birthday. I need his wife's birthday in order for me to connect the dots. I need to look at her chart. I even need to do a love chart between the both of them to see how they vibrate together. Okay? They have a good, solid marriage. The only thing I want to add to this is, excuse me, I want to go back to the 4th house. Anytime you're dealing with Mars in the 4th, Mars in the 4th means that he can be, this is his home area. He has a dragon, hidden dragon tail sitting there. So I don't know if these people have kids, but if they do, he's not a very good parent. If he doesn't have kids, thank God he didn't have children, because that's a kind of a shitty parent factor in my book with this ancient astrology. Throw in a Mars sitting there, and this is where the individual within the home can become verbally abusive to his children or even his spouse in some ways. This is about the home. So this represents his security and his comfort. And anytime you have Mars there, he is the keeper of his castle. He is the ruler. Now, like I said, I got to look at the wife's chart for her to tolerate that I don't know. There has to be a factor going on there where she's acceptable of that. But anytime you see a Mars in the 4th, the individual is going to be very possessive of their home and security within their home. That is the only other thing I wanted to add to Clarence Thomas's chart. It is to be continued, okay? I'm going to post this as a premiere, and I'm going to be in the chat. And while we're in the chat, if I come up and look at any other information, I will specify. The only other thing I want to add in here is he's got a moon in the 8th house. And it's in Capricorn. So this individual has no emotions. Capricorn, moon in Capricorn is cold, calculated emotions, and he can be the master manipulator. He has very strong mind powers, which he can use to his own advantage. Yeah, he is cold, calculating, and anytime you have a moon in Capricorn, this is a person who does not show very much affection. And it's on the 8th house. That's the house of life, death, rebirth, transformations. So he's kind of a cold fish. But yes, if any of my followers out there know his wife's date of birth, let me have it and I'll run a chart on her. And if you like what you see today, please give me a like. I am trying to get to 1,000. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but you never know. Anyway, happy Monday to all of you and have a blessed day. One more thing, I am running a Patreon special until the 31st. The Mother tier is on sale for $40 for the year. That's a $20 savings. It's $5 a month. It's on till the 31st, and you will get all of your days of caution. You will get your full forecasts and a whole lot of other goodies. If you're into the astrology part of it, the Mother tier is the best. If you're into the magical part of it more, then you're going to want to go with the Crone. And I will be running a Crone special in April, so just stand by for that. All of you out there, have a blessed day. Ciao.